Welcome back. Apio Agnes, an architect from Pitch Spaces Limited. Today's topic is common mistakes in design and construction, part 2. So today's common mistake is skipping of professionals. The different professionals, as we mentioned in our last video, were the architect, the civil engineer, a structural engineer, mechanical and electrical engineer. So what happens when you skip all these professionals we have mentioned above? I think you have seen over the news where you have different structures collapsing. Yeah, so you find the person maybe did not use a structural engineer to ensure that they did the soil test, the columns and the beams were made to the right size and dimension, the structural analysis was done. So you have foremen or unqualified professionals working on the project without any supervision. So you find some people are just counting their quantities and they're trying to save on the different costs within the project so they can pocket it, but at the end of the day your project will collapse. So you have to invest a new amount of money into the project and use professionals so that your project can stand. Another thing, you'll find that the walls and the structures in the plan are too small, so the rooms are not usable, or too large and the project becomes too expensive to construct. The other problems that you'll face are you'll find different materials that were selected in terms of finishing. When you skip the architect or interior designer, you'll find the project looks too tacky, and this overall brings down your value of the project. Yeah, the different ways in which the tiling was done and all of that brings down the proper value of the project in total. In other cases, in different projects, you go and find that in a room you find the electrician that did not use an electrical plan. You find they have put, because the client wants two lines, the electrical line and the solar line, you find that the electrician has placed two bulbs in the center of the room. I'll place for you the footages just coming up, but instead of placing, let me say, the one line on the wall, both lines are placed on the center of the room. So those are some of the problems that you have. In other cases, we have had problems where we have had to break down the columns and beams in a structure, which, because professionals were not used and also the structural engineer was also not there to supervise during the construction, the architect was not there to supervise during the implementation of the project because the rooms became smaller. Some of the columns and the beams were in the wrong location, so they had to be broken down, so that's money going down. But the strength of the materials was very low, so we had to do a structural integrity test, and of course the columns and beams did not pass, meaning all the columns and beams that were placed had to be broken down. So this really makes your project expensive, way more than just paying, let me say, about 5 to 10 million to a professional, and you end up losing a 300 million or 500 million project. So you have to weigh what your options are if you'd like to lose just a 5 million or 10 million and then lose 300 million of your project, which will end up maybe not selling. The quality of the project is not nice, so the people, let me say, would not want to rent the space because of the constant problems that are on the project. It will be harder for you to sell this project also, because sometimes you do not have an architect to come and tell you what type of project can be placed within that exact location, so that you could know how much would be put into the project at the beginning of the project during the planning phase. So these are the different problems that you end up facing on a project. But thank you so much for watching this video. Reach out to Pitch Spaces for your services that we have mentioned: architectural, M&E, structural, construction, renovation. We do all of that. Thank you.